Today we're talking about master fading again, and master fading technique. How is your master fading technique? Is it satisfying, or does it leave things wanting? Anyway, this is Luke, or as some people call me, Lukey, since I was a freaking kid. Anyway, this is Luke, and we're talking about master fading technique. Now, a lot of you people master fade by just bringing it up at the beginning and then bringing it down at the end. And this is not really that good, because you can actually be very expressive with the master fader. It controls the dynamics of the entire recording, right? What other fader does that? So what you want to do is ride the fader, the master fader, throughout the recording. I know that's kind of crazy, or maybe not. Maybe you're already doing that. Maybe this is obvious. But here I have a song that I did about 20-something years ago, and it's really long. It's 7 minutes, and in fact, almost 4 minutes of it is the same thing over and over again, and it really only has two parts. It has a verse and it doesn't even really have a chorus. It has like this. It does have a chorus, but we don't really use it as, I don't know. It doesn't have a heavy amount of structure to it. It's a very simple song in terms of its parts. So we had to get interesting dynamic things happening to it to make the recording satisfying and interesting to listen to, especially for 7 minutes. So we added in vocals, and instead of just being bass drums and guitar, we added in an organ and a tambourine and a whole bunch of different guitar solo-y things, an acoustic guitar, and we doubled up the vocals and did some huge vocal parts. And then when we went into the final mix, I rode the fader, the master fader. Now, with a ride on a master fader or on any fader, if you're doing it manually, I mean, probably everybody automates stuff, but I would never do something like this automated, probably, because it's really about the feel. I'll demonstrate my technique on this Presonus thinger. So on the SSL, on console I used to work on the most, the unity gain of the fader was all the way up, right? So you would just fade and then push it up, right? So fade it slowly, then push it up. On this Presonus thing, unity is there, and I don't want to add 5 dB in noise or whatever that is. So what I have to do is make a little stop barrier that stops the fader there, and then a stop barrier so that if I pull this down, it goes to there. So I'm going to make a stop barrier. I'm just going to use this artist tape. You just kind of sneak it under till it touches the fader, and there's your top barrier, right? So now I can push down and then just pop into that. Now the bottom barrier, I'm going to set my fader down like 3 and sneak a piece of tape underneath. But before I do that, I'm going to fold the end of this tape over to make a little tab. And I'm going to put that tab on this side of the fader. So then I'm sneaking it under. Okay, and I tape it down. And now I've restricted my fader motion, so it's kind of like poor man's automation. So you're in your loud part, right? And then you start sneaking it down really, 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 really slowly, 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 till you get it down to here. And then you want to come to your loud part, bum, 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 bang, and you push it up, and you sneak it down slowly, and you push it up. And now at the end, when you want to do a fade out, that's what this tab here is for. You grab that tab and then pull it away, and now you can just fade out, right? So that's the point of that tab. Now, if you move the fader fast, people will hear the volume change, and if you move it very, very slowly and spread out the motion across a long period of time, no one's going to really tell what you're doing. So a lot of what I did on this song, yes, there is some spots where I just rode the fader all over the place, but there were other spots where I slipped the fader down, like over here, the fader's at full, and then I pulled it down really, really slowly, and then right here, pushed it up again. So you don't hear the pull down, but you do hear the push up. So now you can texture your song any way you want. You can pull it during verses and then push it up during choruses. This is really pretty common. You can push your fader up a little bit during a guitar solo, or like, let's say as you're approaching the guitar solo, you pull the fader down a little bit, then push it up for the solo, so the solo pops out a little bit. In here on this particular tune, I'm riding the vocal parts, I'm riding the entire thing over the vocal parts and pulling it down really slowly so you can barely hear it, and then pushing it up back in over here, and you can kind of see the push up there. On these quiet things, it's always really good on quiet parts to put something in there that people can hear for eye candy, for ear candy, like a little thing down in the quiet. And in this particular case, this guy who's singing had a tongue ring, and he clicked it against his teeth, and we just kept it in, and you can hear that somewhere in here. But let's so in here, there's this tongue click. There's one of them right there, right here. Right at the end of the drum fill, there's like this little click. So we're playing these little games. You're going to hear a pop up right here. So the fader's low, and then I'm going to slam it up right here. And you know, I even think I have a Behringer Edison on this mix, and I think I'm running the guitars or the guitar reverbs through it. And then what I would do is make the soundstage wider than the speakers using the Edison at certain points to just kind of pull you into the mix, or makes the mix hug you, go around you like it gets wider. This ending is like the ending that gets infinitely loud, and you can kind of see it. It almost looks like it gets, it is getting louder the whole time. But really what it's doing, it's going from loud to quieter, to up, to quieter, to up, to quieter, to up. And it just keeps doing that. And then I even sneaked it out here and pushed it up for the last moment. And again, the idea of this is just to get, every time something new comes in, the track comes in even louder. So even though new stuff increases the density and volume, the push of the fader gives you something too. So the fader, you actually can kind of really see it here. The fader is snuck down through here, and then it's slammed in here, and then it's snuck down through here. Now, if you compare the overall volume in here and to here, you're going to hear it's a little quieter. Right? Can you hear it? Right? You can definitely hear the difference there. So I'm at full fader here, down to about -3 here, and I'm going to push it back in for this, this as these crunchy guitars come in, right about there. And you'll hear a big jump in volume. And I think you might also hear it widen out because I'm playing with the Behringer Edison to widen out the stereo field. So there you go, big dramatic jump, and then down through here, up, down through here, up, and this way, all the way across the song to keep you interested the entire time as the listener. And then at the end, we have this big tremendous jump off from very loud to rather quiet. So a couple ideas on this. I did a lot of my pushes around the drum parts. So when drums would come in, I would use right before the drum hit to slam the fader up. I would use it to just kind of enhance the arrangement. I'm trying to think of other things I used to do. I think I've spoken enough, honestly, because this is really getting boring. Anyway, so there you go. The last of our master fading techniques. So now you're a master fader. Congratulations. Please subscribe to our lovely Corniff Audio channel. This is Luke saying goodbye. Rock on. Rock on.